noticed something about you today. I noticed the way your eyes shifted just a fraction to the left when they raised their voice. I saw the way your posture changed. You did not shrink away. You did not flinch. You just became very still. It was almost imperceptible. To everyone else in the room, it looked like you were just listening. It looked like you were calm. But I saw the truth. I saw the moment you left the room without actually moving your feet. I saw the moment you decided that silence was the only safe place left to stand. There is a specific kind of quiet that descends upon you when you are hurt. It is not the quiet of peace and it is not the quiet of relaxation. It is the quiet of a heavy door closing and locking from the inside. It is the quiet of a submarine diving deep below the surface because the storm up above is too violent to survive. Most people react to pain with noise. They scream or they cry or they argue. They throw words like stones hoping to hit the thing that hurt them. But you are different. You go silent. And I want you to know that I understand why. I do not think it is because you are cold. I do not think it is because you do not care. I think your silence is the loudest thing you possess. I think you learned this silence a long time ago. We should talk about that. We should talk about the origin of this quiet. Because nobody is born with silence. A baby cries when it needs something. Child screams when they scrape their knee. So somewhere along the way you learned that making noise was dangerous. Maybe you grew up in a house where the walls were thin and the tempers were short. Maybe you learned early on that crying only gave them more reasons to be angry. You learned that your tears were not viewed as a signal for help but as an annoyance. Or maybe you learned that your words were easily twisted. You would try to explain your feelings, and suddenly those words would be used as ammunition against you weeks later. You learned that anything you said could be taken apart and used to prove that you were the problem. So you stopped saying them. You started to swallow your words. You realized that if you gave them nothing, then they could not break anything. You built a fortress out of your silence. You realized that if you did not speak, you could not be wrong. If you did not cry, you could not be mocked. If you did not react, you could not be punished. I see that child inside of you. The one who is sitting very still at the dinner table while chaos happens all around. The one who is holding their breath hoping that if they are quiet enough they will become invisible. You carried that child into adulthood. You carried that survival mechanism into your relationships and your friendships. And now when someone hurts you, the old reflex kicks in. The blast door shuts. The bridge is drawn up. You retreat into the citadel of your mind. People often misunderstand this about you. They think you are giving them the silent treatment. They think you are being manipulative or arrogant. They say things like, "Why will you not just talk to me?" or "Why are you shutting down?" They do not understand that you are not doing this to hurt them. You are doing this to keep yourself from falling apart. When the hurt hits you, it feels like a physical blow. It knocks the wind out of you. Your throat feels tight, like there is a stone lodged in your airway. Your mind becomes a whirlwind of thoughts, but they are moving too fast to catch. You are feeling so much all at once that you cannot possibly filter it into sentences. If you opened your mouth to speak, you are afraid that you would just scream or you would say something you can never take back. Or worse, you are afraid that you would start crying and never be able to stop. So you choose the silence. It is a form of mercy. You are sparing them from the chaos that is happening inside your head. You are holding back the tidal wave because you are afraid that if you let it out, it will destroy everything in its path. You are protecting them from the intensity of your own emotions. I want to tell you a story about a house that sits in the middle of a vast field. This house has weathered many storms. The wind howls and the rain lashes against the windows. Inside the house, there is a person sitting by the fire. When the storm gets bad, this person does not run outside and scream at the clouds. They do not try to fight the wind. They close the shutters. They lock the doors. They sit by the fire and they wait. They wait for the storm to pass. You are that house. Your silence is the shutters. It is the way you batten down the hatches to survive the hurricane. It is not an act of aggression. It is an act of preservation. But I know that it is lonely inside that house. I know that while you are sitting there in your silence, you are waiting for someone to knock gently on the door. You are waiting for someone who does not demand to come out. You are waiting for someone who is willing to sit on the porch and wait with you. It is exhausting to be the one who feels everything so deeply but shows so little. It is physically draining to hold all of that energy inside your body. That is why you feel so tired after an argument, even if you did not say a word. Your muscles are tensed. Your heart is racing 1,000,000 miles an hour even though your face is completely blank. You are running a marathon while standing still. I want to validate the weight you are carrying. I want to acknowledge how hard you are working just to keep it together. The world rewards the loud. It rewards the people who can articulate their pain instantly. It rewards the people who can shout their needs from the rooftops. But there is a deep and profound beauty in your quiet. Your silence speaks of a deep thoughtfulness. It means you process things before you release them. It means you understand the power of words and you treat them with respect. You do not speak just to fill the air. You speak only when you have something that is true. And because you feel pain so quietly, it means you also love very quietly. Your love is not a fireworks display. Your love is a steady hearth fire. It is constant and warm and enduring. You notice the small things. You remember the details. You show up in ways that do not require fanfare. But today, I want to address the pain. The pain of being the one who goes quiet. There is a sadness in it because it often means you are misunderstood. You want to be heard. You want to be understood. But the bridge between your heart and your mouth feels broken. You might have thoughts like nobody cares anyway, or what is the point of explaining? These thoughts are the echoes of that past trauma. They are the ghosts of the times you tried to speak and were shut down. I want to challenge those ghosts gently. I want to tell you that your voice matters. Your pain matters. You do not have to explain it perfectly for it to be valid. Sometimes the silence is also a test. Deep down you might be testing the people around you. You go quiet to see if they will notice. To see if they care enough to reach across the distance. You hope that someone will look past the mask of your comments, see the storm in your eyes. You are waiting for someone to say, I know you are not okay and that is alright. I am here. If you are currently in a season of silence, that there is no rush to speak. You do not have to force the words out before they are ready. Healing does not always happen through talking. Sometimes healing happens in the quiet moments. It happens when you allow yourself to just be. Imagine for a moment that we are sitting together. We are sitting on a bench overlooking a gray ocean. The sky is overcast and the air is cool. We do not have to say anything. I am not asking you to explain why you are hurt. I am not asking you to justify your feelings. I am just sitting here beside you. I am watching the waves with you. In this space, your silence is not awkward. It is shared. It is safe. You can let your shoulders drop. You can let out that breath you have been holding for so long. You are allowed to be hurt. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to not have the words. I think about the color blue when I think of you. Not a bright, happy blue, but the deep indigo of the night sky. It is a color that holds mystery and depth. It is a color that feels endless. That is what your soul is like. It is vast and deep and sometimes dark, but it is incredibly beautiful. There is a strength in you that most people will never see. It takes a massive amount of strength to remain dignified when you are crumbling inside. It takes strength to choose peace over conflict. It takes strength to hold your tongue when you want to scream. I see that strength. I honor it. But I also want to remind you that you do not always have to be strong. You do not always have to be the fortress. It is okay to let the drawbridge down. It is okay to let someone in. It is scary, I know. It is terrifying to trust someone with your softest parts after you have spent so long protecting them. But you deserve to be held. You deserve to be comforted. Maybe start small. You do not have to explain the whole history of your pain. You can just say, I'm hurting right now, or I need a moment. You can write it down if speaking is too hard. You can send a text. You can use a signal. Find a way to let a little bit of light into the fortress. And if you are not ready for that yet, that is okay too. You can stay in the house by the fire for as long as you need. Just know that you are not the only one in there. There are so many of us who are silent when we plead. There are so many of us who learn to hide our hearts to keep them safe. You are part of a quiet tribe. We recognize each other by the depth in our eyes and the gentleness of our hands. We are the listeners, the observers, the ones who feel the mood of a room shift before anyone else does. We are the ones who absorb the emotions of the world. And because we absorb, sometimes we become saturated. We become full. And that is when the silence comes. It is simply the sign that we are full. So be gentle with yourself today. If the world feels too loud, it is okay to turn the volume down. If the demands of others feel they're heavy, it is okay to set them down. You are not required to be available to everyone all the time. You are allowed to retreat. You are allowed to heal in your own way and on your own time. I want you to imagine that I am wrapping a warm, heavy blanket around your shoulders. It is weighted and comforting. It makes you feel held. I am handing you a cup of something warm. I am looking you in the eye and I am telling you that I see you. I see the effort effort it takes to exist in a world that is so often harsh and abrasive. You are doing a good job. You are surviving. And that is enough. Your silence is not a flaw. It is a map of where you have been. It shows where the wounds are, but it also shows where the resilience is. You are still here. You are still kind. You have not let the pain turn you cruel. That is a miracle. Keep listening to your own heart. Keep honoring your own needs. You do not have to be loud to be important. You do not have to be the center of attention to be worthy of love. You are worthy just as you are. Quiet, deep, observant, and real. We are in this together. We are walking this path of quiet resilience side by side. You do not have to explain yourself here. You do not have to apologize for your nature. You are safe with me. If you felt a little less alone in your silence, then stay close. We have many more stories to tell and many more quiet moments to share. Like my video to spread this space.